Hello and welcome in Chiefs Kingdom to Chiefs Latest, your one-stop spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs in 15 minutes or less. It is your host Calvin Silvers. Happy Thursday night football on tonight, but we know we're just itching to get to Sunday so we can see our Chiefs against the Ravens. Who would have thought it would have been 1-2 teams at this point in the season? Thought one of us at least would have been 500, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to be an interesting lineup because the injury reports have came out. And honestly, I think it goes in our favor both ways here, both the Chiefs and Ravens injury report. I'm going to dive into it all plus some more. But before we do, you guys know the drill. If you can go ahead and take a few seconds, doesn't matter what platform you're listening on, but go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you guys turn on notifications because we have daily, that's right, daily videos here at Cheifs Latest, Monday through Friday. You're not going to want to miss any of the news, rumors, or actions regarding this team, so please hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications, as it not only helps me and the channel, but it's going to help you stay up to date with everything Kansas City Chiefs. Now, starting with the Chiefs injury report, we honestly got some good news on the injury front for Sunday's clash with the Baltimore Ravens. Andy Reid went ahead and he confirmed that everyone, that's right, everyone is practicing, but we need these guys to actually suit up and make an impact. It's cool that they're out there on the practice field, but what are they going to do on game day? Mike Dana, Christian Fulton, they were both sidelined for the Giants win. They were just limited now in Wednesday's practice. Quad, ankle issues, respectively, which is a step up from missing all of last week's practices. So you go from missing all of last week's practices to at least being limited. Xavier Worthy's shoulder, we know that that kept him out also on Sunday's win, but he's a full participant now, and that's huge for an offense that's still a work in progress, especially without Rashee Rice. He's serving that 6-game suspension. So at least we have our now number one receiver back because he's been a full participant. So with Worthy speed, that route running versatility, hopefully Nagy is going to unlock the playbook a little bit with some trickery now. Bring him, bring it back. Brian Cook, he left the Giants game with a neck injury. He's also a full go. He's full participant. That's critical for our secondary against Lamar Jackson's dual threat game. He threw for 3 touchdowns. Don't forget that on Monday night. Fulton's a wild card, and his 2-year, $20 million deal screams potential, of course, but he has a history of missing games, 5.4 games a year. And that shaky tackling, that would have been a liability against a bruiser like Derrick Henry, who's going to be on a mission to prove something. But we need Worthy back, and we're getting him back. 59 receptions, 638 yards, 6 touchdowns, 20 carries, 104 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 17 games, 13 starts. Dana, though, with that quad. Fulton with that ankle. Again, limited participants. Cook, neck, Worthy, shoulder. They were full participants. But everyone is at least on the practice field. Reid should ease Mike Dana back with rotational snaps, even though he hasn't been doing much, at least just to test his quad, preserving Jones and Karlaftis for high-leverage pass rush situations. And Nagy needs to dial up some jet motion, some deep shots. Let's get Worthy to stretch Baltimore's defense. Let's stretch the safeties, open underneath routes for Kelsey, for Juju. Spack should use Cook's range and that split safety look, but if Fulton's active, pair him with McDuffie, put Fulton on the outside receivers, and avoid Henry exposing his tackle woes and run support. So I'm pumped about the Chiefs injury report trending upwards. Worthy, Cook, they're likely ready to roll. Fulton's tackling issues, Mike Dana's limited reps, that could be a concern against Baltimore's physical attack, so we might not see them Sunday quite yet. But again, at least everyone is out there practicing. But I also mentioned that I thought the Ravens injury report was on our side this week. So let's go ahead and switch to that injury report because it's a laundry list of trouble. And it's setting the table for Mahomes and company, hopefully, fingers crossed, to feast finally. Left tackle, Ronnie Stanley. He sat out of practice with an ankle issue, although he played every snap in their loss to Detroit. And that's a red flag for protecting Lamar Jackson. Then you have pro fullback Patrick Richard with his calf, edge rusher Kyle Van Noy with his hamstring. There were also no-goes. Richard out since mid-August, and Van Noy has been out because he missed the Lions game, so he's been out a week. But the real gut punch to their defense is their D-line. Starters Namadi Matabike, Travis Jones, Broderick Washington Jr., they all missed practice, neck, knee, and ankle injuries. Without Matabike, who led Baltimore with 13 sacks in 2023, the Ravens got gashed, 224 rushing yards, and they couldn't even touch Jared Goff once. It was bad for them on Monday night. Their defense is bottom barrel. They're giving up the second most points, total yards, and passing yards in the NFL. And with Worthy likely back, the offense can dial up some magic. Please, Nagy, Reed, whoever it is, please, let's exploit this banged-up unit. If these guys stay sidelined, Baltimore's gap discipline, their pocket presence will be shaky. It's going to give the Chiefs a golden opportunity to dominate. Will they take it? Especially being at home. Ravens defense, 31 points, 423 total yards, 266 passing yards per game. Again, that's the second most in the NFL. They're giving you a golden opportunity. Nagy could use Worthy speed, deep routes, jet motions, stress Baltimore's failing secondary. It's not very good right now. Target the soft spots and the coverage. The Chiefs have a perfect chance to capitalize, especially because Baltimore's injury-riddled right now on defense. But if we don't pounce on this chance, again, at home, we're missing a massive chance to get back into shape for a playoff run. All right, let's think about this team before we get to the trade rumors here, because Jawaan Taylor's been a headache for Chiefs ever since 2023. But yet Andy Reid still gets up there and he still backs him. He still claims that his pass protection is elite when he's not racking up the flags. Oh, really? Reid said when he doesn't have his penalties, his percentage has been good. He says he's one of the better tackles in the pass protection game. Okay, but here's the kicker. Those penalties are constant. And not only are they constant, they're killing drives. Taylor's leading the NFL with 7 flags through 3 weeks, costing 45 yards, with 6 of those enforced. This isn't new. He led the league with 20 penalties for 140 yards in 2023, and then he had 16 for 115 yards in 2024, tied for the second most. Reid's praise, it really doesn't hold up against the numbers either. Taylor's 60.9 pass block grade ranks 51st among 101 tackles, and his 41.9 run block grade is a brutal 97th. His overall 45 PFF grade is the 11th worst in the league. And with an $80 million contract and $60 million guaranteed, the Chiefs are tied to him. But again, at what cost? The offense is already sputtering. It's not there. We said it's a work in progress. Mahomes is leading the team in rushing yards. Why is he doing that? If the protection's so good in the pass, why does he feel the need to run all the time? Against Baltimore's shaky pass rush, weakened by injuries as we just went over, Taylor has no excuse to get exposed. If he's flagged again multiple times or can't hold his leverage, I think it's time to either bench him or you're going to have to hunt for a veteran tackle out there. Now, I get you can't just throw a player under the bus. Andy Reid would never do that. But you just constantly defend him and get up there, even with his league-leading penalties and subpar grades? It's just bringing more attention to a bad situation. Leave it alone. If he kills drives with flags against Baltimore, again, the Chiefs need to either pull the plug and go with someone else, or they're going to have to hit the market and look for a steadier tackle to protect Mahomes. I can't keep playing this game. You have very little room for error in your current situation to get to the playoffs and make a playoff run. You can't be in a close game, have momentum, moving down the field, and then he does one of his stupid penalties. And these are happening on crucial downs. Third downs, first and second downs, teams aren't bringing the same pressure. Third down, he knows he can't handle it. That's when those penalties are arising. I just can't do it, and I don't think it should be defended. But then again, I'm not Andy Reid. Andy Reid sees something that I do not. Okay, of course, in true Chiefs latest fashion, we're going to pivot to some trade talk, as with the Chiefs backfield averaging just 108 rushing yards per game, and Mahomes is a majority of that, it needs a spark. And the winless Tennessee Titans, they might be the perfect trade partner, with Brian Callahan ditching play calling and the Titans trading their cornerback Jarvis Brownlee Jr. to the Jets. I think they're on the verge of a fire sale. So, in that case, Titans running back Tony Pollard is the guy to target. The former Memphis Tiger has 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and honestly, he's on pace for another, averaging 65.7 rushing yards per game this season. His 222 career catches for 1,600 yards and 5 touchdowns makes him a dual threat fit for this scheme. Yes, mid-season acquisitions like Pollard can take time to gel in a new system. This isn't new. But film shows that his vision and burst could give KC a quick boost. There's been mentions on adding someone outside of the, Andy Reid system and expecting them to make immediate impact, and how that just won't work or doesn't work with the Chiefs. But that's not necessarily true. Let's look at Kadarius Toney's Super Bowl touchdown and his 65-yard punt return, or DeAndre Hopkins' 41 catches for 437 yards and 4 touchdowns in 10 games in 2023. Again, clutch moments, not just volume, equals rings. You're bringing these guys maybe not necessarily to be super immediate impact guys, just completely take over the team. Again, they got to learn the system. It's almost impossible to do, but you rely on these guys to make pivotal plays in crucial moments. They're not going to be constantly or weekly game breakers or game changers, but if you can rely on them to have crucial moments, that's going to help you get a ring. Pollard, 65.7 rushing yards per game, as I mentioned this season, with his best game coming against the Rams, where he averaged 4.6 yards per carry. Those 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, career-wise, he has 4,897 yards, 4.6 yards a carry, and 29 touchdowns. Receiving career-wise, 220 catches, 1,600 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Beach could offer around a 4th-round pick for Pollard, capitalizing again on Tennessee's rebuild and their need for draft capital. Reach should use Pollard with some zone runs, swing passes, use his receiving skills to exploit linebacker mismatches, stretch the defenses, and just complement Pacheco's power. Pollard could be that potential game changer for the Chiefs' backfield, but Beach needs to move fast to snag him for the Titans' fire sale that they're about to have before others decide to hop on. Well, that is all that I have for you guys on this lovely Thursday. Let me know in the comments what you think about defending Jawaan Taylor, or if we should even add another running back like James Pollard. If you haven't already, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. I'm your host, Calvin Silvers. You are listening to Cheifs Latest, and until next time, have a good one.